Welcome back to GOMTV.net. And before we go any further with what's been going on today, we understand that the Twitch channel might be lagging.
Yeah, apparently it's a little bit laggy, guys. So go ahead and check out GOMTV.net. We have our own servers that also broadcast the game.
So yeah, if you're having any problems watching this, just go ahead and check us out there at our main homepage, .net, not .com.
Yeah,
and you can see us there. So we're 1-1 right now. Really good games actually so far.
Yeah, Bomber went mech. It was pretty cool. Rain's harassment, I think, kind of helped force him into actually attacking.
Oh yeah, well, we had a situation in our hands where Rain was able to storm drop Bomber a lot because when you're meching, you normally don't attack until you're almost maxed out. So he kept losing workers and getting more and more and more behind. And then the result is Bomber's sitting here going, well, I have to do some damage to him or he's going to be infinitely ahead of me. So he pushes out and attacks. But Rain was already prepared.
Here's the question now. Did Bomber actually practice a lot of mech, or did he have like this one build? He's like, well, this attack timing is very strong. I think I'll just mix this in.
I don't think we're going to see any more mech here today.
You don't think so? I think it's one or the other. Either that was the only mech, or we're going to see like four more mech
every single game.
Just about.
Well, I think if he goes mech every single game, I think we're going to see him lose.
Could be.
No
one's figured out a way to perfectly go mech against Protoss.
This has not been something that's properly been incorporated into standard Starcraft 2 play, at least here in Heart of the Swarm. We saw some of this in Wings of Liberty, but that was also early Wings of Liberty when the game wasn't quite figured out yet, so it was kind of like RTS Wild West or something where anything sort of went if you could just pull it off. But now the metagame is much more refined, so I think if he goes mech more, I think he loses. I don't know. The map's going to be Belshir Vestige. It's a one-on-one map, so we do have the opportunity for one of these players to cheese. Not that Rain. I don't even think Rain will cheese once in the series.
He might not.
He might not.
He's not a cheeser.
And we never really say that in best of sevens because it's almost expected that you would cheese at least once to keep things random enough.
Who hasn't cheesed in a best of seven? I'm like, well, I think every best of seven we've ever casted, people have cheesed at least once.
I can't think of a single best of seven where.
But we might see that tonight, and we might see that if Rain makes the finals as well, because the guy is so good defensively.
Well, don't worry, Mara will cheese if Rain does not. So we'll see. It looks like the countdown has now started. The map is loading up. Again, it's going to be Belshir Vestige. And we're going to get closer and closer to seeing who's going to be the first to 4 wins, which will put them into the finals. We're here in the semifinals now. The winner going up against Morrow.
Yeah, it is. Everything's on the line now, Tasteless.
Yep.
Does Rain possibly get a repeat, or does Bomber get his first finals? We'll see.
We will see. Over here in the upper left with nice storm drop and anti-mech play, he is
Grandmaster, SK Telecom T1 Rain.
And over here in the bottom right, will he get to the finals? We'll find out soon. He is
Master, Startail Bomber.
You know, I just keep going over that game in my head over and over and over.
The last one we just did?
Yeah. And I think that was a one-time thing for Bomber. Because the more I think about it...
I mean, to be totally honest, I really don't think he's going to mech again.
Well, if you practice mech a whole lot and you're trying to use that as a basis of your play, then I feel like he would have had more reactions ready, such as going Ghost or something like that, because the attack he went with, if Rain had a lot of storms, what was his plan against that?
Well, if you notice, he was hit in 2 different areas. He didn't seem to be prepared that well. And you know what? I mean, let's go even beyond that onto a human level. I think there's too much on the line right now for Bomber to try to mech in every single game here.
To try to revolutionize the entire matchup.
Yeah, to try to change the entire way the game's played here in the final 4. When this is a guy who was supposed to last year win. Not even just one, but probably many Code S's.
That is true. Rain, for a little bit there, was the best player in the world, thought by many, and still amongst them at least, showing it this season especially.
So we have a Bomber right now. Going to go ahead and get that refinery. And just as in the last game, we basically have to wait until Rain gets a cybernetics core completed before we have much more to talk about.
Yeah. You can kind of guess ahead of time and think, well, Rain, no second gas yet, probably just going to go ahead for a Nexus. As far as Bomber, his gas kind of late. Probably going to be a reasonably quick command center. Wouldn't be surprised if he follows that up with factory.
There's also the possibility of just judging from the direction this SCV is moving on the map, that he might proxy something.
Yeah,
such as a starport. It's angled just weird enough that there's a chance of that, so we'll see.
Looks like he's going towards that natural.
Okay,
Could be going for an eBay block.
I stand corrected. I'm sorry. I thought he might proxy that. Yeah, I think you're right, Artosis. He's probably going to go with an eBay block there.
Zealot did go back to check again. Very safe, very careful play here by Rain.
And it will be a block up here. He has the money right now to get the Nexus, but will he actually do that? And it looks like immediately Protoss... Well, hold on. We'll see in a second here. There's some harass. We don't have a shot of it, but... Okay, he does get the Nexus up on the mini-map.
Yeah. Bomber, it's much like when Protoss is trying to block with the probe against the drones. Yeah, you can build that pylon, but then your own expansion is going to be a lot slower. So you have to balance out what you want to do with it.
All right, so we have the Zealot now getting inside of the main here. Now, this is really more for scouting. I don't think he should even really get an SCV kill up here with this.
Yeah, if he gets a kill, that was a little bit of a mistake by Bomber. He should be able to micro his way out of this. But this is a great deal of information, even for 100 minerals.
All right, gonna go. Oh!
No,
almost
quite.
got that worker.
Yeah, that would have been fantastic. But even seeing that he's making Marines, he has a reactor, 1 gas, and a factory, gives him so much intel. And you can see immediately up goes that robo. Well, he probably, to be perfectly frank, would have done that anyways because he's Rain.
Yeah, he pretty much gets a quick robo right away every single game.
He knows.
So map control is going to go to Terran right now because that Zealot was sacrificed in order to gain some intel. So this Stalker will have to back up when he sees these Marines coming here. He can kite them, though, but it's a little bit too much multitasking and not quite worth it for the other things Protoss has to do to try to have your Stalker kite all 6 of those Marines.
Yeah. Now, Tasteless, you know what? I like this because he's kind of keeping him busy, like you said, with that multitasking thing. But the other thing is that puts Rain a little bit more on autopilot. And Bomber is switching things up again by going for Hellions. And here they are. And this is the first time Rain has seen them. Lucky for him, he did not go for a cannon defense.
All right, well, he does get the Nexus cannon up there, and 1 Hellion is taken out. My God, the Nexus cannon has some range.
This was
like the length of the screen.
Just about. This was kind of a metagame attack here by Bomber. Normally you go with mines, and a lot of Protosses have actually been going for a quicker forge and putting up a cannon in their mineral line because of that, but Rain is aware of this strategy existing, so with those 3 gates, I don't expect any real damage to be done by Bomber here.
Yeah. Got to agree with you there, Artosis. So, we have more barracks coming down here. This is not going to be any kind of mech play here. Or if it was, it'd be the weirdest, most inefficient mech play ever.
Mech
2
with
barracks
stim.
and then I go mech. Yeah, mech with stim. And
he's like, Hellbats have stim, right? They get healed by medevacs. I mean, you stand to reason. No, Bomber. God.
All right, so he's coming up here now. Now, this should be a sufficient number of Stalkers, especially if he controls this correctly.
Now, I kind of like him running by there, Tasteless. That means that he's going to have to micro here and be careful about his probes in the main base.
All right, the probes are being pulled away right now. Nice block there.
Really well done by Rain, but he's going to lose quite a few probes as well to this. 5 already going down, now 6. That's kind of painful.
Whoa!
Whoa.
1 or 2 more shots.
Ooh. And this was...
we had a counterattack over here into the entrance of Rain's base, and there's not really anything but that Marauder here to defend. Whoa, that was quick.
Yeah. That is actually something that Rain has done in the past, where if you're going...
I barely had a chance. Someone was like, is this game really going to end? But before I even computed everything,
but yeah,
Bomber tapped out.
That was a good counter by Rain. I was so busy looking at him losing probes that I was like, oh, no. But this is actually something he does against people that like to tech up and attack him with a bunch of stuff early on. He oftentimes does throw up a proxy pile and make a bunch of Stalkers and just go over and start killing your SCVs because he can just out-micro you overall.
That attack was pretty poorly done by Bomber. I know he got the Hellions in there and did get some probes, but it looked like he lost the medevac and all those Marines. And again, this is similar to actually some of the games you've already seen so far where you just take enough damage. Your economy, they can still kill you with their army, like game 1, for instance.
It's a very good point, but once again, Bomber kind of metagaming a little bit. If Rain had
Yeah.
gone for the quicker forge with a cannon in each mineral line to really shut down drops, then Bomber would have probably just won with that build. But
Yeah.
instead, Rain he's actually buttoned up tight, Tasteless. He's doing that Rain thing where he is safe against everything. He's wearing his biohazard suit today.
Yes, man. This is safe play. This is StarCraft with condoms on our toes.
This is the Howard Hughes Protoss right here.
I got to say, this map, though, Star Station, should actually be pretty tricky for Rain to win on because the third base is very difficult to hold.
I think this is the map where Bomber goes for the more standard macro-oriented play and just tries to abuse that third base. But what does Rain do because of that? He might do something more aggressive than what he's been doing? Possibly?
Yeah, I feel like Rain is just going to do the same safe opening every single time. And I feel like Bomber's strats are a lot more like shadows and mirrors, you know, where I feel like Rain is just very, very safe. It's very step by step. There's a very clear process to it. And
it's David Copperfield versus Albert Einstein.
There
right
you go.
Here,
Yeah. And I don't know how many more tricks Bomber has up his sleeve here when really, you know, Rain is going from a very, very safe angle.
As safe as he possibly could be. And Star Station, though, look, out of those first 3 maps, Rain won 2. This is what we were talking about, why this was kind of a good map lineup, order for Rain, because he did get that early 2-1 advantage, which is a huge deal. But the next 2 are the 2 maps that Bomber really needs to make sure he wins.
Yeah. All right, so the map is going to be Star Station, and it is now loading up. This would be huge if Rain were to win this. That would give him such a big lead. Critical game here for Bomber, as far as Artosis and I are predicting, not that we're very good at predicting, are saying that this should be a map that would favor Bomber, but we'll see.